There's a reason I don't really like talking about lights on this channel. Like if you're a big filmmaker, get a bunch of really expensive lights. But if you're a streamer or you're a YouTuber and your personality, your lifestyle is what brings people to watch you, cheap lights do the exact same thing. Which is actually why I'm doing this video. Because this light is nearly half the cost of the Elgato key light. And in a lot of ways, it's better. Not every way. And we'll get into that. And it has a big ol' big brother. We'll get into that too. Let's take a look at these lights. A couple things to know beforehand. I like Amaran a lot. I think it's important you know I'm gonna have a little bit of a personal bias here, but I like them because they're really good. My studio here is littered with Amaran lights. I meet up with them at almost every convention I go to. They make top tier lights and they're sponsoring this video. So as usual, I will be completely open and honest about the pros and cons about these lights, and I hope when they look at it, they are okay with my honest opinion in this. But it is important to me that you know that going into this video. Let's start with this guy. First, the Amaran Verge. It's a super thin, super diffused light that is similar to the Elgato key light, but about 1.5 inches smaller horizontally and with a handful of differences. The most important one being it is only $79 compared to the Elgato key light, which is $159. Actually, I found it going for $139. I don't know if that's a permanent price or just a sale going on right now, but so almost half now. And it is almost the same brightness. Here are the lumen count of the two. You can see how close they are. Now, a couple other differences. First thing, it is USB-C powered. Hallelujah, no more losing power supplies. It comes with a 30-watt charger, but any USB-C power supply will do as long as it is at least 30 watts. That's very important. It has an app that we'll get into in a second, along with Stream Deck controls that we will also get into. It also has controls right on the front of the light where you can change the color temperature and the brightness. What an innovation. This video is not a bash on the key light. It's an awesome light with cool Stream Deck plugins, but we've all been in that spot where the button stops controlling it. We all wish we could just reach up and change it real quick. Know what I mean? Having controls on the front should be a non-negotiable, but here we are. There's a single quarter 20 on the bottom of the light, whereas the Elgato key light has one on all 4 sides. And it has an option for their own mount called Verge Lock, which makes a little bit more sense on the big lights. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But this is where the price advantage starts to buckle a little bit. It's not quite as drastic as it sounded right at the get-go, because the 140, 160, 140, we're gonna call it 140. The $140 key light comes with a stand that sells on its own for $40. The Verge comes standless. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing as long as you're aware of it. They do have options for other stands. For example, there's a desk stand that is $30. There is the Verge mount, which again, we'll get into when I bring up the big guy here. But you can also find pretty cheap and robust desk mounts for like 20 bucks. Or maybe you already have some kind of stand that'll work for this, and not having to buy an included one saves you a little bit of money. So you have options, but that definitely closes the cost gap a little bit between the two. Let's do this. Here's where each light wins in each category to me. Let's put both lights up over here, put their costs up there, and let's go category by category. First, size. Elgato wins here, but by a pretty marginal amount. Definitely not enough to make a huge difference on camera. Brightness, I would call that a tie, especially since I never turn my brightness above like 5%. Let's make that the comment. Where do you put your brightness of your light up to? I swear mine's at like between 5 and 10%. Light quality, these are both very well diffused lights with good temperature control. I'd make that a tie also. Charging, I'm gonna give this one to Amaran. I literally have an Elgato key light out there that is a paperweight because I don't know which charger goes to it. Control, I'm also gonna put that with Amaran. Not that their app is much better than Elgato's. I think they both perform the same general purpose, but the fact that there are controls on the front of the light, clear winner for Amaran there. Build quality, gonna give this one to Elgato. A lot of metal on the casing there. Definitely feels more heavy duty. This one is, well, it's plastic. It's nice plastic and it looks good, but it's plastic. Elgato wins that one. And software, we will get into the app, but first I wanna shift from talking about budget light to talking about sheer size. It matches the size of some of my Aperture Professional domes, but it's only like an inch thick at its thickest point. The reason you would go with something like this is to get like true studio lighting, but you don't need the depth of a massive dome. Like this is a circular dome right here, but it's like 4 feet deep. Look at this. This is gonna allow some of you on a tighter budget to finally get professional lighting, and that's exciting. What a large surface area like that, especially a round one, what it does for you is it gets more diffusion on your face. It creates a softer light. But something that's super important to gamers is when you have a light that's that large, you don't have to have it as bright. You can disperse the same amount of brightness across a larger surface area. So it's easier on your eyes, but you get the same amount of brightness and even more diffusion. A lot of the features on the Verge Max are the exact same as the Verge, but there are a couple distinct differences. First, it's also USB-C powered, but it takes 65 watts. It comes with a 65 watt charger. If you use your own, make sure it's at least 65 watts. It's got the same 2 dials on the front, but this one's got a little screen on the front so you can better see what your settings are. It's got that same Verge lock on the back, but this one comes with the mount included. Probably because it's too large to just fit a little 1/4-20 pin into. I think it'd probably snap it right off. This also brings the price up to $250, though it's worth saying that if you're comparing this to another light, a normal light of the same size, that's still an incredible value. The included Verge lock mount is super heavy duty. It comes with a really tall base pole and then an adjustable arm that comes off of it. The only real bummer with it is the included cable management, which are like these just cheap little plastic guys. I've used these before. They break. I wish they would have included something just a little bit more robust. Although I bet I could fix this. Yeah, I bet I could 3D print something that would work better than this. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to finish it before this video goes live. And if you have a 3D printer or a friend with a 3D printer, I'm gonna put the file, I'm gonna link to it down below. If you end up picking up this light, which of course are also linked down below, but if you end up picking up this light and want better cable management, yeah, grab my 3D file, print that off. This seems like an easy win. But the app. Both of these lights connect to the new Amaran desktop app, which is great. I've got a couple gripes with it. I've been giving the team feedback, but it's a pretty straightforward process. You hold the power button on the bottom till the blue light flashes. That means it's ready to pair. You hit the little plus button in the software. It's gonna show you any nearby lights that are ready to pair. You just click on it, hit pair, and you're good. You get all your controls in the app, and they've also released a Stream Deck plugin that you can download from their website. This lets you turn the lights on and off. It lets you go to preset brightnesses or warmth temperatures. You can activate effects like fireplace or broken TV if you want to use it for like ambient lighting in the corner. The main issue I've had, and I think a lot of you are gonna have, isn't really Amaran's fault, but it's that I've never had a desktop PC where Bluetooth actually works. Can someone tell me what the deal is with that? Like where Elgato lights connect over Wi-Fi, the Amaran lights connect over Bluetooth. And I went into my settings and I troubleshot my Bluetooth, and Windows told me Bluetooth is broken. And when I said, what's broken about it? It goes, I don't know. And for some reason that has been the last 5 PCs I've ever owned. So I don't know what's going on over there, but it's something you should look into. Make sure you have working Bluetooth on your computer if you plan on picking up one of these lights. But all in all, I think it's gonna do it. Verge is great. It's a cheaper version of the key light, but with controls on the front, USB-C power, which I think are great upgrades. The Verge Max is, honestly, I think that one's the kicker. I shoot every video in front of a giant light like this. And to have something like that designed for streamers and content creators, priced for streamers, and thin enough that it's convenient for streamers, that's what made me go, fine, I'll do a lighting video. So, what do you think about the lights? Leave a comment down below. If you don't have any thoughts, just leave your favorite emoji down there, or a random emoji for engagement, because it helps me out a lot. Hit the like button, subscribe while you're down there. And as always, happy streaming.